Here's my disclaimer. It's allegedly. It's allegedly. It's my opinions. I'm not tearing down people and their character. I'm telling people out there that some of your character is just bad. It's just bad. Bad habits. Hey, welcome back to the streets. I got a good one for you. I have a question. Have you guys seen these videos coming out, especially on Twitter or X is what they call it, of these parents literally beating the shit out of their kids, whether they're sexually active or something was going on? They're beating the hell out of these kids. Some say it's borderline abuse. Others say it's straight out abuse. And other people are saying, hey, you know what? You need to beat these kids because they're not going to learn. Well, let's talk about it. All right. That's a tough subject to talk about, but we're going to get into it in the icky, muddy nastiness of it all. Because I'm a parent. Some of you that listen to my stuff are parents. And some of you have already seen that some of these kids kind of get out of hand. But how we deal with them as parents shows a lot in our character and shows a lot about us more than it does them. So I don't know if you guys seen it already. There's these videos coming out on TikTok, on X, and other places of these parents literally beating the hell out of these kids. And when I mean beating the hell out of these kids, I mean they are punching them, kicking them, grabbing them by the hair and throwing them around. I've seen a father do it to his own daughter. I'm looking at a mom doing that to her own son. And I don't know. I have some strong feelings about this stuff. I am a proponent. I am somebody. I just am from Texas, and I believe in giving your kid a spanking. But I don't think this is a spanking, guys. I think this is more of a just of a beat down. Like they're throwing fists. I mean, I don't want to play all of this. I don't. You guys can't hear or nothing. You hear this? I let you hear a little bit of that. The lady says, "Get up and fight like the N-word," and then she says, "Get up and fight like a girl." Okay, not only is she punching this kid, he's probably a teenager. She is kicking him, kneeing him, and downright just bringing him down in all kinds of ways. Now, if you ever wanted to be influential with your kids, you lost it right there. That was it. You'll never be able to do that again. And any other person in their life that is older, they're not going to respect. They're not going to listen to, because if this is what it is, then they're going to have this rebellious nature against anyone that's going to tell them what to do. Because once they figure out what to do in life, they're pretty much going to do whatever they say to do. And they've already witnessed violence at your hands instead of love by your hands, that it's pretty much normal to them. I don't know what to suggest in this type of situation. Because I've lived in poverty. I've lived with a single mom who lived in the ghettos. I know that it gets real ugly in those areas. I know shit happens. However, it's a little too much. When you're an adult, you have much more strength, and your kid's looking for love, affirmation, looking for attention, looking for correction. But man, giving them a beat down. I mean, this is the fourth video I've seen where a parent beats the hell out of their kid, and it's not right. It's just not right. I get the spanking. I get the spanking. All right, I'm from Texas. I get the spanking. I got my spankings. I've given the spanking. I get it. But this is downright a beat down. This is something. It's hard to see, but parents, if you're going to discipline your kid, discipline doesn't mean the action. It doesn't mean the spanking. It doesn't mean the beat down. Discipline is when you're trying to bring in a good habit in switch or in lieu of the bad habit. You're trying to help them discipline themselves. You're trying to help them discipline their own actions. And a lot of these kids see your actions first. I'm sorry, but it comes from you. A lot of the blame comes from you. Whether you were in a bad relationship, whether you left that guy or you left that girl, it comes from you. Whether you out with your buddies, whether you out with the ladies and you're not paying attention to your kids, it comes from you. It is much of your fault that they end up like this than it is theirs. Many people have been dealt a shitty hand, but there's good that you can do from it. There are people that are willing to help in your situations. But when you take it into your own hands, I don't know, man. That's kind of tough. You beating on a kid is very tough. Just imagine someone beating the shit out of your kid like that. The rage that you would have, the anger you would have towards that parent or that person that put their hands on your kids. You're the one putting your hands on your kids like that. You should be angry with yourself. It's not a popular thing to talk about. It's not an easy thing to hear, but you should be angry with yourself. And I'm not saying you should condemn yourself. I say that you need to correct yourself. You need to discipline yourself. You need to work on yourself. People, especially boys, okay? I'm gonna get into this. There's girls and boys. The girls part, the dad beat the hell out of the girl because she was sexually active. She was probably very young. I'm not gonna say how young, just very young. That beat down that she got, I'm pretty sure he went to jail after that. That is an assault and battery. The guy who's getting beat by his mom, he looks like a teenager. Okay? Young men, and there's an epidemic of this in this country. Young men need their fathers. I don't give a shit what you think or how bad if it, and I don't and I'll take that. I'll run that back. If they're drunk, if they're just bad, and they're really, and it's not because you're fucking bitter, but they are truly bad. They don't really give a shit about their kid. Who gives a fuck if they don't give a shit about you, but they don't give a shit about their kid and nobody else? I get that. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the ones who don't give a shit, who only gives a shit about them, their own alimony checks if they're married, their own child what do you call that? Child support checks. I'm talking to you guys who think that they don't need a dad. There's a fucking epidemic in this world and in this country, especially in this country, of the fatherless kids that they end up doing whatever they want. Why? Because there's no leadership. There's no strength. The strength doesn't come from you, mama. Yes, when we see it come from you, it's still us men having to go figure that shit out later on in life. You can be the strong woman, yes, but how is he going to be the strong man if he's not around other strong men? I'm just telling you right now. It just doesn't work that way. He has to look in the fucking mirror and decide what kind of man he is. And if all he sees is you, it's already conscrewed. He cannot figure that out. But when he's around, I was fortunate to be around other men, my uncles, my grandfather, but other men. I always had like a lot of friends, a lot of guy friends, and I had a lot of lady friends because I had a lot of sisters, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't hard. It was very easy for me to talk to the other gender. It was not hard for me, but I had a lot of guy friends. As I got older, I had a lot of older friends, about 20 years older than me, and that's where I learned. That's how I found myself as a man, and that was not easy. I struggled a lot with myself. And here's the thing: you women need to know about this about a boy. If there's no man, that boy will have a shit ton of feminine energy in him. You do not want that. You don't want that at all. That's the boy that comes and yells at you instead of telling you how much he loves you. That's a boy that'll swing at you, throw shit at you, or put you in big predicaments versus somebody who comes and hugs you, supports you, and protects you. I mean, pay attention, women. Pay attention to your own actions too. Pay attention, men, because if you're gonna leave that woman alone with that kid, it ain't gonna work. That boy is he's pretty much done. Unless some God blessed moment happens to him and he's fortunate enough to find other men in his life. You won't be that man that he wants to become. He'll become his own man. But what a privilege it is to get to raise him and see that you can change as a man, how good of a man you can become, how respectful you can be to people, and how you've earned other people's respect, especially other men, and how you can show him the same thing. There's an epidemic. I'm pretty sure for the women or the females who grew up with men. I mean, they're searching for the daddy figure. They're all searching for the daddy figure. Even the young boy, he's looking for the daddy figure because he needs to figure out who he is. You know, it's not easy. It's very hard. But beating the shit out of a kid, kicking him, stomping him, calling him the N word or your own kid. I'm just saying. I'm Mexican, so don't come after me. I ain't the guy. I, I'm not the guy. I'll say some shit. To call this kid, and he's a boy, to call him a girl, yeah, she or her. You know, you're tearing him down. He's already weak. He's already going to make mistakes. They all going to make mistakes. You fucking made a shit ton of mistakes. I'm going to say this. Not a person in this world, listening to my voice especially, has ever been perfect in their life. We've all made mistakes, little and big. I get it. If the person before you beat you, abandoned you, or just misused you, that is something they did to you. Why would you go and do that to your own kid? Why would you instead say, you're right for beating me? You're right for abandoning me. You're right for mistreating me. Now I'm going to go do that to my kid because you're right. That's where you're wrong. It's a tough thing to talk about. It's a very tough thing to talk about. But yeah, I wanted to see if you guys saw that. What you guys had to say about it. Yep, you're probably not going to like a lot of things that I had to say. A lot of things on what I say. Here's my disclaimer. It's allegedly. It's allegedly. It's my opinions. I'm not tearing down people and their character. I'm telling people out there that some of your character is just bad. It's just bad. Bad habits. And what your parents did to you doesn't mean you it's right to do it to your kids. But I kind of feel bad for these kids and for the parents. You guys take care of yourself. We see you guys on the next one.